I'm going to tell you a story about, about this place where I used to live. This is Utrecht. I studied experimental physics there. And this story is going to be about cake, silliness, and was the other thing physics? Physics is the other thing. Yes, so I lived in the world, and the point of this was actually that when I was there, I lived with people from all over the world. One of my favourite people that I lived with was an Indonesian guy, and I loved him very much because we shared a deep and enduring love of food. So one night he was baking a cake, he put the cake in the oven, he set it for 30 minutes, and then we went into his room, which I now realise sounds dodgy, but we're just going to have dinner. His boyfriend was there too, so, you know. And then when you thought the cake was going to be done, he went back into the kitchen and said, the timer says it's been 20 minutes, but I know it's been half an hour. And he was really confused. So your normal kind of person might say, well, the timer's broken, or, you know, your brain doesn't perceive time very well. But what I said was, that's actually technically possible, for it to be 20 minutes in there and 30 minutes in here, but only if the kitchen is moving very fast relative to the bedroom that we're in. He was a music student, so he got very confused. He didn't know I was talking about special relativity. If you haven't heard of special relativity, I would describe it as weird stuff happens when you go really fast. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but you know, in 5 minutes, that's roughly what it is. Special relativity has two kind of core ideas. The laws of physics stay the same for everyone wherever you are, and the speed of light is constant in a vacuum always, more or less. It is called relativity because for those two things to be true, you end up getting some weird side effects, some strange things happen, and it's all kind of to do with how fast one thing is moving relative to the other. The important thing for this story is something called, can I get a drum roll? Time dilation, which more or less is that time slows down when you move really fast. It's not that when you go really fast, you go, oh my God, time is going really slowly. Time appears to be going normally for you, but for someone else who's relative to you standing still, if you both have watches on, after you stop speeding around, you're going to go, wait, is my watch slowed down? But it's actually physics. Physics is messing with you. So basically, if we have two objects and one is traveling very fast, we're supposed to talk to the other, time actually slows down for the other. So back to the cake. This means that if the kitchen is moving very fast relative to the bedroom, the cake will actually experience 20 minutes of time and we'll experience 30 minutes, but then how fast? How fast does it have to go? So a couple of months later, I was with a friend, a more nerdy friend than the guys I was having dinner with. And we decided to calculate this using this beautiful formula that Einstein came up with. So we did some basic maths, and the number we came up with was it'd have to be moving at about 3/4 of the speed of light, which is many hundreds of thousands of meters per second, which obviously is very fast. So this isn't a very practical idea. The next idea I had was maybe we could have the kitchen on a much higher story than the room we were in. This probably sounds ridiculous, and it is ridiculous. But what I meant was, if you have a building on the Earth, and the Earth is rotating, a room on a very high story, as the Earth rotates, has to move faster in order to stay aligned with the lower stories. So that means if we put our kitchen really, 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 really far up, maybe we'll get this same time dilation effect occurring. So then the question is, how high up does the kitchen need to be? So again, we did some calculations. I say we, it was really all him. I was just providing moral support and silly ideas. And the figure we came up with was about 480 kilometers. That's about 300 kilometers above the Earth's atmosphere. It's roughly 16,000 stories. So not that bad. I mean, a few flights of stairs or a very fast lift might do it. But yeah, so would this actually work? I mean, theoretically, the theory is sound. In practice, you're going to get a lot of difficult physical problems happening, but it was just a kind of a fun idea at the time. So back to the dinner, I'd done so much waffling about special relativity that when I was done and we were all very confused, the cake was done and we ate it and it was good. And they all lived happily ever after at the end. Thank you.